A common question that is asked to me is how to deal with case studies in SCMP paper CA final. So in this video I'll be covering that topic. Now what happened during my attempt was I had not covered case studies up until 2 months before exams, and when I started I also became nervous because of the complexities involved in the case studies, and as all of us do, I also called up some friends, asked for some faculty notes, for some tips, but all in vain. So in this video, I'll give you a basic idea of what the case studies is and how you should go about it. What were my recommendations? So my first learning is always break down the case study, and I'll use case study 1 as an example. So case study 1 is on DP Limited, and here what the question is asking is these things. Firstly, it is asking us to explain and identify various primary activities of copper division. Then it is asking us to discuss the issues with performance measures, that is the KPIs, key performance indicators, and third it is asking us to advise an alternative performance measure, which in this case will be balanced scorecard model, because in the case of primary activities, that is the value chain analysis, we are only using the financial indicators, but we should also use the non-financial indicators which are covered under the balanced scorecard approach. So this is the crux. Now when you go about this case study in exams, you will not be given this part, value chain, balance scorecard and KPI. So you'll have to identify what I just said yourselves. So you'll have to identify what are the models and concepts to be used in the case study. So this is the breaking down of the case study. You'll have to break it up कि कौन-कौन से मॉडल्स चाहिए हमको, कौन-कौन से कंसेप्ट्स लगाने इसमें, एंड उन मॉडल्स के अंदर क्या-क्या पॉइंट्स थे. दिस इज द फर्स्ट पॉइंट, breaking up the case study. This leads me to the second and a very important point, that case studies are never repeated. That is why I have told you to break it down, because if we are assuming that the same case study of DP Limited will be reproduced in exams, if we assume that the primary activities as such will be asked or the balance scorecard simply will be asked, it is a foolishness on our side. The reason being that case studies are generally not repeated, and there is a very low chance of it being repeated. So what is the point of mugging up all the masala? By masala I mean these things. Like I know what is inbound logistics, so what is the point of mugging up all this thing? You should just know the keywords, what the question intends to ask, and you should answer accordingly rather than mugging up. This is the third learning, that never mug up, only try to understand the pattern. What happens is when you try to understand the pattern, you will find that all the case studies are somewhat based on a simple pattern, and in that case you will have a different level of confidence when you try to understand the patterns and the keywords rather than mugging up the masala, because each case study it will differ for each case study. In exams, let's assume a separate case study will cover, which will again cover the primary activities of value chain. In that case the inbound logistics will be same, but the inner thing will be different, so no point in mugging up. Now I'll explain it. For example, if I take case study 2, it is again on value chain analysis of S-Mart. Now S-Mart is a service sector, I think. So in this case the inbound logistics will be a bit different here. So you have to identify the inbound logistics in the context of service sector rather than the manufacturing sector, which was the case of case study 1. So see, there are two questions on value chain analysis, but both the questions have different masala but the same headers. So you need to remember the headers and apply them in the context of the case study given in the exams. And now the fourth learning or the fourth recommendation is always do proper markings while reading case study. Like in this question, what the important markings would be, like inbound logistics you know, but in inbound logistics masala you should know what are the key points. Like if you read this paragraph, inbound logistics involves arranging inbound movement of materials from suppliers to manufacturing plants. This thing you will read as it is in the value chain analysis concept. So what is the point of marking the same thing here? So in this case there is nothing to mark, but when I read the same inbound logistics in case study 2, see in case study 2 there is a bigger masala, and what it says is, since S-Mart is not involved in manufacturing, all the activities it undertakes to deliver the product to its retail stores will form part of inbound logistics. Generally inbound logistics means that we are recording the incoming materials, but in this case whatever materials we are delivering to the retail stores are our inbound logistics. So there is a minute difference, and you have to understand that inbound logistics for a service sector will be different from a manufacturing sector, and this is the thing I am saying, that you should always mark the things. Mark, highlight it, make a star, whatever you want, you should always mark what are the important areas first. Second, you should mark what are the different areas. For example, the value chain analysis in case of service sector is not given in the book. So you should mark this case study as such that if value chain for service sector is asked, you should have a base, this case study. Third, you should mark whatever new things are given. Sometimes you may come across some case studies where the concepts used in the case study are not given in the book. So you should mark those case studies too. So you should mark all the important questions, all the new questions and all the different questions. This is marking. And the last and the final recommendation is very easy. If you have understood what I've told up till now, you can do it yourself. But if you need additional help, as I've mentioned in my earlier video of how I scored 78 in SCMP, what you have to do is you can go to Sankalp sir's page, Sankalp Kastia. Everybody will know him. So you should go to his page, and he has uploaded a video last year on case studies. I guess it is around within 2 hours video, and in that video he has covered all the case studies in the manner I am telling you about, like the keywords, the shortened case studies, and I think he is also providing his notes there. So this is the thing you should do, and you can take additional help from his video, and that is my motive to share good content with you. I also used his videos in my exams and his notes, and I found it really helpful, and I got good marks because of that. So I'll repeat all the 5 learnings again. First is you should always try to break down the case studies. Second, case studies are never repeated. Third, you should always try to identify the pattern rather than mugging up the case studies. Fourth is that you should do proper markings while going through the case studies. And last is you can watch Sankalp sir's video or do it yourself or do both. Having said all that, now I want to discuss what ICAI expects of us. So I'll discuss the essentials for case study given by ICAI. First, it says that case study is not about the quantity but the quality. As I mentioned, you can never mug up all the case studies, but you have to remember the keywords which will improve your answers quality. Then you should prepare a plan, which I said you should make a pattern. Then decide what models to use and prioritize the issues. So first we'll identify the models, as I said, and after that you'll also have to prioritize the issues. Means you have to identify the issues and you have to suggest recommendations for those issues. Then you'll have to identify the impact of the issues and actions to solve those issues along with the relevant concepts and calculations. Your answer should have a logical flow. So it does not mean that you have to state all the points in order. It means that when you are explaining something, it should have an order. Like, this is the issue had this impact. Because of this impact, these were the effects, and because of these effects, the entity should change its measurement policy and it should then opt this new measurement policy. This should be an answer flow, a logical flow to the answer. Then it says you should offer a detailed analysis of the issue, and then you should conclude with a sound, well justified recommendation. Your conclusion should be your recommendation. For example, in case study 1, what will be your conclusion? That the entity should change from value chain analysis to balanced scorecard approach also. Then not to spend too much time on calculations. Yes, you'll notice this, when you are solving the case studies, there are not too many calculations involved generally. In 1 or 2 case studies, there are calculations. Do not place too much attention and time on presentation. You should have a logical flow, but presentation is not important. वो रंगीन pen ले जाके and you are underlining everything, highlighting, not required. You should have a logical flow, that is more than enough, and a quality should be there. Ranking order is not important. Quality prevails over quantity. Now discuss each of the issues in depth and their impact. See, again and again it is asking us to discuss the issues, discuss the problems in depth. So you have to have a better understanding of the concepts of the models. After that only you can discuss the issues in depth. If you do not know what is a value chain analysis, how will you discuss what are the issues in value chain analysis? Why it is not a good measure when we are considering the non-financial indicators? You should know that value chain has to be replaced by balanced scorecard. Do not leave any of the issue undecided. You have to identify all the issues, and then you have to identify what are the solution for every issue. Then your recommendation should include what to do. That is, we'll do balanced scorecard approach. Why to do it? Because value chain analysis is not sufficient to provide non-financial indicator, and how to do it, you'll have to explain all the aspects covered in balanced scorecard approach. You should identify ethical issues. So non-financial indicators are a very important factor here. There are multiple models on non-financial indicators, and then you should justify it. Your recommendation should appear at the end of the report. It should always be your conclusion. And lastly, practice makes perfect. So there are around 20 plus case studies. You have to do it all. You have to identify the pattern, and then only you can score good marks in case studies, because the weightage of case study is also pretty good. So you should spend some time and put some efforts in case studies. And on this note, I'll end my video.